like 70 volts or so, whatever it was set to. So I set it to the highest. And
Uncle Rich.
Terminals on.
It is seen that Uncle Rich is banging Sam Crack's stepmom. The YouTube drama. So, anyhow, this is what we're doing, guys. We have the X3 in. E83. I think so. E83 X3. These are the same as E53 X5. Basically the same as far as front control arms. And they could be a real... I mean, look at all the tools we got. We got every tool in the whole damn shop out of here. Place is a state because we had to use every tool we had. The issue is these aren't like regular BMWs. These and Xdrive cars have a separate ball joint right here. Forgot we're on the GoPro, so we got to use exterior lights. Has a separate ball joint right here. And let me get something else. Oh, we got some battery action going on here. So we have a separate ball joint right here. So the thrust arm, which is right here, comes off with one nut. It then goes up here. And then your lower, which is new also, goes right there. So you have two E-Torx bolts, one back there. And the issue is that ball joint gets stuck in there. And you can see here's the old one right here. And you can see what we did to get it out. Now, you use the air hammer to get these out, but you can't just use it any way. There's a certain way you gotta do it, right? It's a lot of people have this issue and a lot of videos on the internet, but nobody says exactly what to do. Now, we're gonna make this a very short video. It's not gonna be a very detailed situation here. There's two main things I wanna focus on. One, to get the air hammer on that, you have to take the CV axle out. You just can't get it down in there. You see, there's not enough room. The problem is, if you ever worked on an Xdrive BMW, you know the issue there is with the front CV axles getting stuck in the hub. You guys seen me before when I was rebuilding my black E60, my 528xi. We had to take the whole hub out, put it in the big press, and press the CV axle out when it was in the press. It was a nightmare. But I just figured out a way to not have to do that. So both these sides were frozen in there. They're frozen up. Take the nut off. You can beat it all you want. Air hammer with the pointer right in the middle doesn't do nothing. So what I did, I took a 1/2-inch drive extension that you don't really like too much. These are impact extensions, so it's a little bit beat up now, but I'd rather sacrifice a $5 extension if I have to than to have to take everything out and press it out in my press. So first thing you try, get your big 4-pound hand sledge. Don't pound a lot on there. Hit it 4, 5, 6 times. See if it's going to come out. It probably won't. It probably won't. If it does, consider yourself lucky. The next thing you do is go up here on the metal. On the metal, not here, not there, right here. And you bash it from this side. Hit your extension that way. Then you go around the back and you bash it from this side. You can even see that. And then you go back to this side. You hit it 7, 8, 10 times. You go back to that side, another 7, 8. You go back to that side. Then you go back and bang it in the middle. You keep doing that. It'll come out. There's something about hitting that side to side that breaks the frozen CV axle to the hub loose, the rust spot, right? Like I said, we are using a 4-pound sledge, a real man's hammer. That's what she said. And that's how you do that. So now what we're going to do, real quick, we're going to take a few things out here. We have to take the lower arm out first. Well, we don't have to do it first. On the passenger side, we have a headlight leveler, 10 mil we got to take out. That's not a problem. At that point in time, we're going to take this bolt out, and this there, 22 mil, a bolt in the nut. So that arm, the thrust arm, then swings down. You don't have to ever take this off, that nut. You can just leave it on there. Then we're going to take out the 2 bolts right here, one right there, one right there. And then we're going to take out, so this arm comes off, this one comes off. The tie rod, we'll spray that, we'll zip that bolt off. We'll bash right there with the hammer. right there after everything's off, and that'll pop out pretty easily. Okay, once that's done, but don't do none of that until you already got this broken loose. Now we could take our air hammer at this point since it's already loose and just bump it in there. You might just be able to swivel the whole hub up, and it might just fall out. Once we do that, we're gonna let the lift down, and then we're gonna come up in here. That'll allow us access to the top of that ball joint. Now, what we've done already, we sprayed some PV Blaster up in here, because you can see the top of that, it has like a cup in it. So PV Blaster would just sit in there. And that's what we did. We actually did it last night. And let's do that. Let's get to that point. We'll be right back. Okay, guys. So here we are. All right, everything came apart pretty easy on this side. No issue at all. Once we got the CV axle, that was the hardest part. So up in here, you can see we have the little pocket that holds the top of the ball joint. All right. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna start off with this, and we have our pointer, our pointing tip, and we have our flat tip. I used a flat tip last time, but it seemed like there wasn't enough concentrated energy to get it out. So this is, I just bought this because I broke my other impact. This is an Ingersoll Rand. I'll put a link for the description. This in the description. They're about 60 bucks. This is a pretty good one. So we're gonna go through, and we can see down here if it's moving or not. So we're gonna go through side to side. And we'll go over here a little bit. Let's do this. This moving is just really slow. Try to keep the heat on it every time we're waiting for the compressor to heat up. Okay, so I did find a better way. You saw me in the time lapse here using the torch in between when the air compressor was airing up, using an air hammer, and it moved a little bit and it stopped and wouldn't move anymore. So this is what we have going on. We just popped it out, and I use my ball joint press kit. You can buy these for 40. I'll link this up to you. If you guys don't have one of these, you need one of these. They're like 40 bucks. This is even the bigger, so I think they're 44. You get all the cups. But what we could do here, we put I had like a big nut that I put in between the top of the C-clamp that presses on top of the ball joint, right? Because anything taller wouldn't fit. Then I use a big cup. Let me get the light in here. It's important. It's top secret stuff. So I used the biggest cup I had, and we caught the edge of the tie rod structure there on the spindle on this side. Then on this side, we used this other little cup to get, like, we needed to catch the edge of this, right? The other edge of the cup, but to not press on the other ear, we jammed this in there to press against the spindle. Took the impact, ran this down, and just popped it right down. It came right down, no problem at all. So, I mean, if you had a massive set of these, a bunch of cups, I guess you could do that. You could find exactly the right one, maybe, and get it all done. But really, the $40 to $44 kit is the only one you really need to do pretty much anything. And just a matter of getting it set up like we are right here, that just took it right out. And I don't know why I even had it out. I don't know why I didn't try this before. But I was trying to get out with the air hammer because the other side came right out with the air hammer. So let's go ahead, and it's already pushed down a good, probably, I don't know, a good 1/4 of an inch. We should be able to take the clamp off, bump it with the air hammer, it should shoot right out. I'll take this off of here. Try not to drop all over the damn floor. Slip the whole piece out. And this is the kit. It's not a very big kit, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And the clamp, and you won't break that, let me tell you. We're hammering on with this 900 foot-pound impact, and I've used that probably 30 times already on Toyota stuff and all kinds of crap, and haven't done anything to it yet. See, we're down here pretty far. Let's lower the lift just a little bit. Let's get the air hammer back out, and it should just shoot right out at this point. Gotta vacuum this floor too. It's getting dirty as hell with all this rust. Get this down low enough for her to actually do something. And that should be low enough. Grab this. Let's change to our stubby. And here's what I stuck in there. It's actually the drain plug for the Porsche transmission, or the fill plug. I'm sorry, not the drain, the fill. But any kind of nut or anything will work for that. No problem at all. We'll set that right there. Get this hog in here. There it goes. I think we're done with this. And here's our ball joint. And you can see how aggressive the air hammer was. It was just going right to the top of the ball joint. That might be why I didn't want to come out as good too. It was in a soft area in between there. But there it is, guys. It's out. I don't think I messed up the bottom too bad. Just a very little bit. Very, very little bit. That's totally fine. Let's reassemble. I thought you guys want to see it all done here. So we have all put that together. We'll have to tighten up this bolt and this bolt completely when it's on the ground. Some people say that makes a difference. Some people say it don't. I mean, it's kind of at your own preference at that point. There's all the control arms. Now, I want to tell you one thing too. These tie rods, usually you can just smack them with a hammer, get them to stick, and then tighten the bolt down. They won't spin. But neither one of these would do that. So what we did, we took, that's a 22 mil. Let's see if I can find it here. I'll show you. I just took a 22 mil silver socket, and I used a clamp just to put a little bit of pressure on them, and that'll actually fit inside there. So when it's loose, you put that on the nut, on the 22 nut on top, then you just clamp it down a little bit, not much, and then that lets you get the impact on top and tighten that down, or ratchet, or whatever you want to use at that point. And that holds, that pinches that together, holds that together. I found on everything else, you could do it real easy the other way, but this one you had to do it like this. So it's gonna be it. I mean, it's complete. These tires on this thing were, this front one was totally roached. And these tires always rode rough, always made a lot of noise, these Firestones. I never was a fan, well, I was planning to replace those. We have all the new Falcon, or the Watsus, OHTSU, or made by Falcon. They're FP 7000s. We put 8000s on the M5. That car does great with those. They ride nice, they're quiet, they're grippy. They're grippy on, as the M5 could be on any surface, but we ran those on all the E39s we had. We ran those on several X5s before. My black E60 had those on it, on and on and on. In fact, that's, if the Porsche needed tires, that's what I put on the Porsche. Because those Continentals on it, just they ride horrible. They're horrible tires, but they're brand new. So we'll leave them for right now, I guess. It's gonna be it, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good day. That's it.